Hi, everybody. Welcome to Karwaan, and my name is Eshan Sharma. Today, you all are here for I don't know why, but you all are here. So, welcome back on Karwaan, and I am very happy to share the stage with my teammates from Karwaan, Neeraj and Chandni. Neeraj is joining us from Bangalore, and Chandni is joining us from Chandigarh. The Tri City, as it's called, or I think ट्राई सिटी कहते हैं चांदनी
Uh,
चंडीगढ़ को
Chandigarh, along with Mohali and Panchkula, is called the Tri-City.
ट्राई
So I'm
सिटी
from Chandigarh.
so she is from that region but Chandigarh and Neeraj I think is the only odd one out because he's a medical student but I think a better history writer than any of us
Glad to hear that.
because
Thanks a lot.
I can see Anirudh's book there and a book on the Coromandel coast as well.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites, obviously.
It's
Sort
Charles
of got me
Allen, no?
Yeah. Charles Allen's book. It's one of my favorite writers, and he's written like really, really well. And it's one of the first few books that got me very interested into scholarly writing.
Yeah. I'll just ask if we are audible. So those who are joining us right now on YouTube, please let us know if we are audible, if you could hear all of us, Chandni, me and Neeraj, if we are audible to all of you. Just let us know in the chat so that we could continue our conversation from there. I just checked my phone live because I'll be reading your chat. तो जो लोग chat पे जुड़ रहे हैं, those who are joining us from chat, पहले तो सब लोग एक बार hi बोल दीजिए so that we'll know that you are listening to us, you all are there, and it will give us some more motivation and inspiration to carry on this conversation, knowing the fact that people are listening to us right now. So those who are on chat right now, please send us a hi or a hello or something like that so that we'll know. Baki, Chandni, Neeraj, what's going on? Anything new?
Okay, so we discussed that we'll be talking about books. So August is my birthday month, so I got 21 books on history. So now that we're talking, because I turned 21 this month, so because we are going to talk about history, so I thought that I'll maybe talk about a few books that I got. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to talk about all 21 of them, but maybe 4 or 5 of them. So, and I'll tell you. So this is the book that I started my 21 book reading marathon with. It's this book by a very famous oral historian, Anam Zakarian. Excellent book. It's based on the interviews done in the Valley region. It's an excellent insight into the lives and the lens of how the Valley people are living. So this is a must read, definitely a must read. Very engrossing read. The one that I'm currently reading is by somebody who's very close to us at Karwaan, Rana Sakobi ma'am. Again, an excellent book. I've read about 3 or 4 chapters. Very simple and very easy to read, and yet very enlightening. Of course, the topic is such. We're talking about the scriptures here. So this is an excellent read. And Rana ma'am, of course, is very special to us at Karwaan. She's supported us from day one. So yes, this is the one that I'm currently reading. And the one that I plan to read next after I'm done with this is this book by the one and only great oral historian Anchal Malhotra ma'am. And
The size of that book frightens me from starting it.
I know.
This is the first book.
Yeah, I've read this one. It was an excellent book. And being from a petition family myself, Anchal Malhotra ma'am has done an excellent job of capturing that feeling so well in words. So I'm really looking forward to the second one. So this is the book that I'll be reading next. And if I were to tell, so I've got, apart from majorly the books that I've gotten this time for my birthday because of 75 years of independence and petition, most of them are on petition history. By Kavita Puri ma'am, by Suchitra Vijayan ma'am, and Zakaria ma'am. I got another book by her. And there's a book on art history by my favorite art historian, Dr. B. Swami. It's called Nayan Supapule. So maybe the next slides that we do, Eshan and Neeraj, will show that books as well. So this is what I've been up to.
That's amazing. 21 किताबें 21वें जन्मदिन पे 21 books on your 21st birthday is something unimaginable. But though I have a good collection of books, I think it's the best birthday gift. 21 books of 21 different authors, especially on Indian history. Uh, and as you said, हम लोग we are starting this series, and I'll be speaking in Hindi English. ये conversation हम हिंदी English दोनों में रखेंगे because as you have seen the thumbnail of this video, it says hashtag historians of the record. So it's when history students, we can't call ourselves historians, but for time being, because there's no other term for history students, so historians under training or something like that. So whenever historians are off the record, we kind of chill and talk casually about books that we are reading
I
from the
don't think I would fit in that label as well.
no, if you are writing about history, I think we can make this thing excuse for you as a Karwaan team member. But we'll
I
continue
think
this
Neeraj is a great
conversation.
history enthusiast, Eshan. Don't we agree at Karwaan?
No,
One of the
he's
greatest
one of our
enthusiasts.
best writers, and
Amazing,
I would
yes.
really recommend you all to read his recent post on Krishna Kakatiyas and the Khan, which I think is one of the best articles you'll ever read on the Dakhni history. Do give it a read. It's on Instagram. Baki, as I was saying,
And
yeah, no,
yeah.
as I was saying that we'll continue this Karwaan Nukkad for another. So we will continue. We'll keep talking and having these casual conversations. These are off the record, unprofessional conversations about history. There might be some random musings and stuff like that during these conversations, but this is because just to break the ice that academicians, writers, history students could be cool people in real life. So it's just a fun, engaging conversation that we'll have, and we'll keep having this conversation. You were saying something. How about you? What are you doing these days?
Yeah, I'm doing good, as since I'm a medical student, of course, managing time with this and of course my own vocation is extremely hard, and it's not easy as well, because especially I'm doing my own research in the medical field as well. But in whatever little time I get, I do, try to chip in, stay up a bit, like try to read as many books as possible, and of course contribute for the page, which has of course been a pleasure for me. My own writing style has grown, in my own opinion. I feel like if given, I think I joined Karwaan in November, and like if I look back at the first piece I wrote and what I wrote recently, I do see that scope of growth, and in terms of the sources I use and all of that. So yeah, I am thankful for that. And speaking of my most recent post, it was largely inspired by Eaton and Wagner's fantastic book. It's called Power, Memory and Architecture. It sort of delves into some of the contested sites within the Deccan Plateau, which was like a bone of contention between the Sultanates of the South and Vijayanagar, and like how they sort of try to convey, and I won't say convey, like try to convey the complexities of the issues at hand, and like not rather than looking at it from pure binaries of say religion or our own biases, and to look beyond that. And like trying to delve into objects like like how warfare itself was evolving at this time, and how the nature of sacred sites like being taken over, and like because like there's this one example like because I know like given the mosque and temple issues are quite controversial, there was one example put forth like in a site in Karnataka which was a very old Chalukyan site, and then like it was like basically like repurposed into a mosque. I won't say converted, like basically repurposed by this thing. It like like he portrays it in such a way such that it conveys the idea that they appreciated these sites for what they were, rather than some of our understandings that okay, these people didn't have any appreciation for our past, or it was always brutal, violent. It was none of that. It was quite complicated. And, he draws like an analogy between the Hagia Sophia Cathedral, which was, basically repurposed from a cathedral into a mosque, and basically shows that basically the architecture itself of that site is preserved and like just basically repurposed. Because, like our temples, tend to face to the east. The corner at the back tends to face to the west. So basically just by removing the image itself, you basically convert it into a mosque because the thing, the back portion tends to face to the west, and so voila, you have a mosque. That was one of the interesting things, and then of course one of the characters I wrote about, Shatab Khan. You can read. I won't tell too much. You can read about him in my most recent post. Since of course the post hasn't done too well, I would say, given the way Instagram algorithms work.
Yeah, but I think it's a fantastic post, and I'm still waiting for our audience to respond to our hi. So I think Rituji says hi, Rajkumar Negi says hi everybody, and it's the best time to interact with the team, and you could ask us any questions, anything that you want, and you can
Now,
come and
Eshan, 8 minutes. I'm sorry to cut you in,
ha.
but now that we're talking about Karwaan and Neeraj mentions it that he's been with us since November, I think we need to talk about what Karwaan's done for us because I'm sure you're not going to bring it up. So, we were talking about being historians in making and, talking about history in general. And this is something that has often come up in our conversations is that historians के साथ जब हम बात करते हैं in off the record conversations or after chat, there's this one thing in all our conversations, and I think we are fortunate कि हम Karma के through we've been able to connect with so many historians, is that how humble they are as people. But you'd think that they would have a lot of, conversations about difficult conversations of difficult topics, but you realize that it's so easy to talk to them. And that reminds me, I got to meet Dr. Goswami yesterday, and that was only reinforced when I met him in person that they know so much, so you're overwhelmed and awestruck all the time.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to talk to you at your level. They descend to your level and they talk to you. And this is something that Karma's made available for us. So if we could have the team, Neeraj, we did have a conversation with the one and only Mr. Dalrymple a couple of months ago.
William Dalrymple.
Of course. And so
yeah, I remember. It was an absolute fanboy type of moment.
Now that we are talking about breaking myths about history, I think we should talk about the fact that these great people, academicians, scholars of history, how approachable they are once you get to talk to them. And of course, you need a medium like our channel to talk to them. But how easy they are when you talk to them. So yes, maybe we should talk
And
about
now that you have mentioned that, I'll just plug in that we have introduced a Karwaan YouTube membership, and that allows you to interact with your favorite historians on Zoom with us on Karwaan. When you see the live, it is only on YouTube, but you will get a chance to join us on Zoom and see the behind the scenes of a lecture and also interact with the historian during the post lecture Q&A that we have with the team. So be a part of the Karwaan membership family community, and you can check that out on our YouTube channel. There is a button called, once you have to subscription is free, but once you subscribe there would be a channel, there would be an icon called join. Click on that join icon. They'll show you 3 tiers of our membership. The first tier is general support. If you want to support our work in goodwill, you can subscribe to that. The second tier allows you to be our book club member, and there are other different perks of that tier. Then third tier allows you to be part of our lectures on Zoom and exclusive Karwaan Baithaks with historians, writers, authors, just for our members, which won't be live, which we will definitely share some teasers and trailers of those lives, but not the entire video. So if you want to be part of those sessions, exclusive sessions, you'll have to be a part of Karwaan. And the only reason that we have this membership is we don't want anything else but to sustain our work, because we essentially are young students in our 20s, early 20s. None of us earn anything, and to sustain Karwaan, to bring
And
out
of course,
more
we're
and
doing this purely out of passion.
yes, we invest almost all the time because I keep calling them at any time, at any point of the day, and we keep our meetings like that. But that's our passion for history, and this membership does nothing but reinforce and our belief in history, and that there are people who wish to support our passion for history. So if you wish to support us, if you wish to support Karwan, and if you like that we will keep inviting scholars to you on your mobile screen. These memberships are essential for our uh, existence in some senses. And let's see if we have some people in the chat. I can see Ariba in the chat. Ariba is one of our team members from Pakistan. That shows that we are not just limited to India, and we are kind of trying to make a connect with all parts of the Indian subcontinent, not just Pakistan, but Bangladesh or Nepal or Sri Lanka for that matter, or even Afghanistan, which I think.
And speaking of supporting Karwaan, you can always, join the team. All you have to do is
Yes.
write to us, and we will, of course, you can be a part of the family. And it doesn't have to mean that you don't belong to the same background, or it doesn't. If you are a bit worried about your own writing skills or whether you can write or not, trust me, your skills will grow here as you keep on writing. We have a brilliant team of writers who are here to support you, and so join in and let's grow together.
And they're not saying it on a gunpoint, so please do join it, because I think we have had many people who are not history people. Like we had Sagnik, earlier before Neeraj. There was another medical guy who was part of our team. He used to write great stuff. Sagnik was part of our team, and then there were other people who were political science major or English major or journalism major who became part of Karwaan, and they contributed a lot. And I can see Krishna Bhai in the chat. Krishna Bhai is one of our supporters of Karwaan. He has supported and he's been a member of Karwaan lover tier for a very long time. We have Wasim Khan also in the chat. Hi Wasim. And 11 people are watching us. Guys, please do like the video and do share it with your friends, because we need more and more people to find Karwaan, and this is I think the best way to keep you engaged, keep us engaged. And talking about books, because Chandni mentioned some books, you also showed some books in the beginning. Let me also show some books that I am reading these days. So it's a book by Veena Venugopal. I just got it. I read 2 chapters of it. Independence Day, A People's History by Jagannath. And what's fascinating is that we have read so many accounts of the partition. What happened, who came from where, what the massacre, how the massacre was, etc. etc. The stories of Lahore, coming from Lahore to Delhi, Delhi to Lahore. Such stories we have heard, but the missing context was how those people celebrated the first Independence Day. And we had a conversation with Professor Romila Thapar, Professor Irfan Habib, and Harbans Mukhia Sahab on Karwaan, where they shared their memories of the first Independence Day. And it's an important event, of course, because we have talked about the outcomes of that decision of India's independence, that partition happened, and what happened with those refugees or survivors. But what about those people who were survivors, who were part of that, but how they celebrated, and did they celebrate 15th of August? Because there's a story in this book which says the survivors' parents lost everything in the partition. He was a young 7-8 year old person, and he says that we did not celebrate 15th August at all. There was nothing to celebrate. We lost everything. Why celebrate 15th of August? And there's this story in this book where there's a person in Bengal, Krishna Nagar city or some city like that, which was earlier part of Bangladesh, So I think my internet is unstable. It says, but I'll try to check it. But there is a story where this person celebrates 15th August and hosts the flag of Pakistan, because that city was assigned to Pakistan, East Pakistan, earlier. Then 2 days later, on 17th August, when the partition's map were out, this city was reassigned to India. Then he again celebrates on 17th August another Independence Day with Indian flag on his rooftop. So that's the kind of stories that you have in this book, and these are fascinating stories away from, say, the partition trauma related stories. It's a big trauma that this subcontinent still faces and shadows our understanding of the present. But I think, yeah, Another book, very fascinating book, and I love these kinds of book. It's a children's book called "How Did the Harappans Say Hello?" and 16 Other Mysteries of History by Anu Kumar. I love these kinds of books because these are essentially written for young people. I don't know where.
Celebrate Diwali because they say Tipu's family came running after them and massacred all of them because they sort of demonized Tipu more. But then fact